Welcome to Discovering. Labor Day technically marks the end of summer, but that doesn't mean there's not some time left for a vacation. And sometimes you find the coolest spots right in your backyard.
Almost all the buildings at the facility were built in 1938 by the CCC.
Stick around, that's all tonight, right here on Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
The term vacation is defined as an extended period of recreation, especially one spent away from home or in traveling. For me, it's a bit more simple. It just means taking a break. For some reason, we tend to believe that vacation must include traveling. The further we travel, the better the vacation. It's kind of like fishing. No matter if you're on the shore casting out or in a boat casting in, the further you can throw it, the better the fishing. When in reality, the closer you are to the fish, the shorter the cast you need to get there. My list of vacation qualifications includes nice scenery, good fishing, and friendly people. Someplace quiet, remote, and pristine. Well, when you live where we do, you're already there. We discovered Lost Lake Cabins. It certainly met all of the qualifications, and they weren't much more than an hour from home.
So we have 8 cabins on the water. Cabins 1 through 8, they're all rustic in nature. They are 1-room cabins with 3 bunk beds. They sleep 6, table and chairs. Outside you have picnic table and fire ring. You have electric outlets, electrical lights. Almost all the buildings at the facility were built in 1938 by the CCC. It was used by the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts through the 56. Then Purdue University somehow purchased it actually from the Forest Service and used it as their forestry camp for 21 years until 1972, 73, around there. And they did build 2 structures on site here, the lecture hall and staff cabin 2, in 1970 and 1971. So those are only 2 structures that are not original from 1938. Then Purdue University couldn't maintain it anymore. It was costing too much money. So they just let it go, and they actually sold it back to the Forest Service for $1, and it sat in disrepair till about 1993, I believe, and the Forest Service and the National Guard teamed up to rehab it. And they did kind of a minor rehab, redid the roofs and stuff, and got it functional, septic system. And then the Forest Service started renting it out to families for vacation in 1995, and we started running the place in 1998. So inside the cabins, you still have foot lockers from the 1930 era CCC. There's also stand-up lockers from 1930s. All the tables are from that era. The floors are original hardwood that are all nice and refinished. And the entire place was rehabbed in 2011 by the Forest Service. And the whole place is situated in a virgin hemlock forest. The lake is good fishing, crystal clear, great swimming. There's a walking trail around the entire lake. And then off of the trail on the lake, there's a trail going off called the Ridge Trail, which is a 3.5-mile trail, which you could hike or mountain bike. And on the other side of the lake, there is a Forest Service campground for tent camping and RV camping. lake is 85 acres. It's about 50 foot in depth. There's a trail around the entire lake that you can hike. It's 1.25 miles. There's 2 loons that live on the lake and an eagle. We have canoes and kayaks for rent and a rowboat for rent and a paddleboard for rent. So if people don't feel like bringing their stuff from home, we can certainly rent it to them. And it's a no motor lake, and so you cannot even have a electric motor on it. And the lake has rainbow trout, 20-inch bass, perch, sunfish.
After a bit of relaxing, it was time to hit the water. The plan was to get together with Chase and his wife Lisa along with their kids Riley and Courtney for dinner. Our job was to supply the fish. Beautiful Lost Lake, Rainbow, dinner. Probably wouldn't have gotten that fish except for this beautiful handmade fill lob custom net. Another nice rainbow, a frying pan. Fishing on Lost Lake, about 45 feet of water, 44 feet down, foot off the bottom. Simple, just a little red hook, split shot, and a night crawler. Well, it didn't take long. We caught dinner and breakfast. So now we make the short row back in, head for the cabins, and cook some dinner.
So we are located here in the host cabin, and that's where we live during the summer with our 2 kids, Riley and Courtney. And we do sell firewood on site and also ice on site. Every summer for 5 months out of the year, that's where we live, and we run the place on a concessionaire permit for the USDA Forest Service and in cooperation with them. Cabins 1 through 8 are situated on the water. You can walk down to the lake. There's 2 cabins, the first aid cabin and staff cabin 1, that are completely different than all the 8 cabins on the water. The first aid cabin, which was the first aid cabin for Purdue University when they had their forestry camp here, does have electric baseboard heat. It's all drywalled. Has a kitchenette and a bathroom, but no shower. And staff cabin 1, we call the honeymoon suite. That cabin is $5 more per night. It's $55 a night, but that cabin does have electric heat, a full kitchen, and a full bathroom. This is the recreation hall, and that's Fieldstone fireplace is original from 1938. Families, kids come in here. We have games in here for the kids to play, and if it's cold or rainy, we build a fire in there and keep the fire going. And everybody hangs out in here and has fun and stays warm. We've had people rent the whole facility for weddings. We have large groups that come up and will rent the whole facility. Families and friends, and they take the whole place. Family reunions. Commercial grade kitchen that campers can rent if they want. It's $50 a day. Mostly it's rented by people with large groups when they're having a wedding or they have the whole facility rented. Cabin 4 and cabin 3 both have wheelchair ramps and are wheelchair accessible, and all the fire pits are ADA compliant. So the lecture hall and staff cabin 2 are the only 2 buildings that aren't original. This was built in 1960 by Purdue University as their lecture hall, hence the name. And now we have kids games in there like a tumbling mat and air hockey and ping pong and pool table. Staff cabin 2 was built in 1971. That's the only cabin that is really different than cabins 1 through 8 on the water. It still sleeps 6, 3 bunk beds, table, chairs, fire ring, picnic table, but it's a little bit smaller.
There are as many ways to cook fish as there are fish to cook, I suppose. For this meal, nothing fancy. Just tin foil and some very fresh rainbow trout. Add some kind of seasoning that I found in my backpack that simply said fish on it. Some butter. More butter. And some more butter.
Good job, I'm glad you.
And we're good to go. What the heck, some more butter. Toss it on the fire for a while. flip it over, and before you know it, you're going to have a plate full of delicious, fresh rainbow trout for dinner.
Okay.
She knew it was in the 70s and showed us it was here, so I had her look at it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he will. Sure, he said they're chewy. And they
They're like Robert and Mason said.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, how did I...
General.
Really? The Dollar General, I thought, was being kind of phased out as Family Dollar.
And so I got this T-shirt when I was here, 14, and I had to have my picture
Yeah, there is cucumber. And then I wanted to do lemon and orange, but I can't find it.
In 1998, we started running Lost Lake Cabins and hired campground hosts to be the host here, and never really thought that that would fit into our lifestyle, that it would be something that we could do as a family because we're busy. 4 years ago, just things changed, and with that change, we were thrown into the situation, and thankfully so, because we realized that not only is it something that we could do, but we could do it well, and we were happy to do it. So with Facebook and phones and hotspots and whatever, there are people that have anxiety about the fact that they can't get service here. And there are people that will go in search of it and they'll seek it. But there are also people that really enjoy the fact that they don't have that. And they come here for that reason. And we enjoy raising our kids here because it's old school. They play kick the can and they play hide and seek and they build forts and they meet kids from all walks of life, and they enjoy the games that use imagination, and they interact with other people. So we're really happy actually that we don't have that service here. It is a lot of work, but the fact that it's outside and it's so different every day, and we don't put our children in daycare, and I mean, there's give and take in every situation, but it's so rewarding, and I'm so grateful that we can do this.
Vacations are hard to come by these days. They're usually limited by two deciding factors: time and money. Well, this kind of vacation doesn't really require much of either. Find a cabin in your neck of the woods, throw some stuff in the car, and spend a couple of days relaxing. Well, that's it for tonight. If you'd like to keep tabs on what's coming up on Discovering or see where we've been, you can join us on Facebook or go to 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week right here on Discovering.
A fish eyeball.
Do you like fish eyeballs?
Yes, very much. It really has no flavor, but it's actually not bad.